Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, time for another live Wicked Horror Show. As always, I'm Kevin. Even though it says Crook, I'm Kevin. This week we're joined by Angel from That Strange Show.
What up, what up, what up?
And Tony has 9 fingers.
What is going on, people?
And Tony, would you like to introduce our very special guest?
Sure. We're talking about the short film, The Other Side of the Box, but he's got a bunch of stuff that we'll probably get into at some point in time. But the director, and it said like a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's a little bit of everything.
Phillips. A little bit of everything.
Everyman.
Oh yeah, Caleb Phillips. What's going on, Caleb?
Happy to be here.
Yeah, happy to have you. So so when Tony had brought this up and he sent the link, I noticed the little what YouTube channel it was on. I'm like, oh, this is the cool channel that's got all the cool horror shorts.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that's pretty sick that he made a horror short, and it was on that. By the way, the short is available on YouTube right now. It's a little over 15 minutes. It's pretty awesome. It's another one of those situations where I'm like, okay, I think this is something that you could easily turn into a full length feature.
Yeah, 100.
I wonder if you ever will. But so what was the process in that, first off? But also, if you want to give like a little quick synopsis about what it's about, to sell some people on this.
Yeah. Other Side of the Box is about a couple who receives a mysterious package from an old friend. And when they open it, they realize something's trying to get out of it. And like, that's as soft a pitch as I give it, because like, I think the real fun of the film is when you find out what's trying to get out. Like I think that's when it really grabs people. And if you don't know what's coming, even with the thumbnail, when you don't know what's coming, I think it's really, really fun. But it's sci-fi horror, which is usually what I like to do. Yeah,
and it's creepy. Like it creeps you out within that 15 minutes, like, because you don't know what's gonna happen. And like then there's other stuff that shows up and it's like, huh? Where'd all these things come from? And I'm just trying to not be too specific. But real quick, Life is Pain is in the chat saying what's up to everybody. What's going on? Life is Pain. Man is in the chat saying hope all is well. Good juju. Thanks.
I gotcha.
And Sergio's only specifically talking to me and Tony right now.
That's all right.
Angel, forget about Caleb.
That's all right. What up, Sergio?
Oh, and actually, Life is Pain. He seen this short a while back, and it's so awesome. It's awesome that you're here.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah. And so, is this something that you've ever like thrown around the idea of making a full length feature out of?
Oh yeah. So it 2019 went to South by Southwest, won there, got a manager, got a bunch of attention, and my manager and I spent a little bit of time on it with my co-writer, and after a while we realized that while we had some good ideas, I didn't find anything to be as special as the short itself, because it's very self-contained. Like, it's a complete idea, and every single version we pumped out just kind of felt like It Follows wannabe movie where you're like stretching the concept too thin.
Okay.
And like maybe it'll get made, blah blah blah. But I really think that if there is a version of it ever, it's a weird one. It's one that doesn't quite fit in like a traditional horror box. Yeah. And those are hard to make. Those are really hard to make.
Yeah. I mean, there's been a couple shorts that have been pretty successful with doing that, but there's also been there's been some that haven't been that successful. We've had some shorts that blew me away, and we've had the directors on, and then they make a full-length feature, And I was just like, all right, well, I like the short better, but
Yeah.
you know, congratulations, and you got it on this service, and that's awesome. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to. Oh, and Jamie Hill is in the chat room.
What up,
Jamie Hill
Jamie?
from Skinamarink. I don't know if you saw Skinamarink.
Oh, I did. I really liked it.
She was the mom in Skinamarink.
Oh shit. Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's awesome. She's great.
Yeah, she was awesome. Movie's awesome too.
And she's an awesome person. We had her on the show a while back, and she's great.
That's cool.
But so I get it. I get where you're coming from. And now that I'm thinking about it, because I literally just watched it, because I try to watch things as close as possible to the show, because I forget everything.
Oh,
Yes, it's a part of getting old.
I said that out loud. I'm sorry.
Well, no, because there's only so much room for stuff, and I have to remember things
true.
from my youth that mean nothing. So
That's true. That's true.
I have to remember what socks I was wearing when I rode a certain bike to a certain place, you know? Meanwhile, important stuff like birthdays, and I don't remember those. Jamie saying, boo, did I scare you? Yes, you did. So, yeah, I know, I totally get that. So did it premiere at South by Southwest, or did you do like a festival run first?
The festival run came after it. So after South by Southwest, it went to a bunch of other ones. I went to like the Busan International Film Festival in South Korea, which I liked a lot.
Ooh.
Oh fuck, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It's mostly that like once we got into South by, I just stopped thinking about all the other festivals. So no, I don't think I have them off the top of my head. But it was a really good run, really fun. I started just basically sending it out to like any festival that reached out. They're like, hey, can we screen this? Think people would love it. I'm like, yeah, I just want people to see my work as much as possible. So it's probably screened at a lot more than I don't know about.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I guess
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
No.
but at the same time, well, I mean, it isn't, because he wants to know where it's playing. He wants to be like, hey, this playing here, played here, you know, whatever.
Where's my award for this one and this one?
Yeah, because you know it won awards.
I have actually received like a few awards from festivals I didn't know about, like in the mail, gotten like a small trophy and been like, I don't remember submitting to this.
Oh, well, there you go. Sergio is asking if this is live. Yes, it is, and the reason he's asking is because the last thing that streamed on his channel wasn't live, so I get it. But yes, this one is live. It was a pre-recorded show from before of another show, but yes, Sergio, this is live. So I don't know. So you've been working in kind of like in the biz for a little. Like if you look at your IMDb, you've been involved in a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We actually had some of the movie There Inside. We had I forget who we had on for that one, because that was one that I saw from Dread Presents and Dread Central, and I'm like, this one I definitely enjoyed. And then I forget who we had on. This was a while ago, but that one I definitely.
You're getting old too, Tony.
I gapped 2 days on that early when I moved to LA. I've been in LA for about 6.5 years, and I just like answered an ad for a job and like went up to Big Bear and shot like 2 days on that. But I do remember it because it was one of the first things I worked on.
Nice. But yeah, so that's the kind of stuff that you do on your regular daily stuff. You said you are a gaffer, and
I work grip and electric, commercials, short films, features, branded content, documentaries, like anything that it's my day job. And then I write and direct my own personal stuff on the side.
Yeah.
Now, were you doing that before you decided to take the next step and make movies, or it was that's one thing you knew you wanted to do? It's like ever since you were young, it's like, I want to do something along these lines. Or
yeah, very, very cliche. Like the whole like seen Star Wars at 8, wanted to make movies my entire life, made copies of movies that I loved growing up, made skits, went to film school. I wanted to be a cinematographer at first.
Nice.
So I went to film school, did that, focused on that. And then like, I just like realized that I wanted to be in control of the editing and the casting and hiring the production designer. And then I was DPing a low budget feature in 2014, and the director dropped out due to personal reasons, and the movie's going to fall apart. So I was like, oh, I'll just direct it, I guess. I know it. And then we hired my long-term cinematographer, Laura Jansen, to shoot it. And I haven't looked back. I just don't DP anymore. It's only directing.
That's pretty sick if that's what you want to do. But the cinematography part of it. I think, like myself, like as a kid, loving movies as well, I've always thought that way. I never ever even tried because why would I? But
You should.
it's been I think I've told this on the show before. Like I think I was in like 5th grade or something, and they're like, "Oh, draw a picture of what you want to do when you grow up." And I drew a picture of supposed to be me holding a camera, and it was like a crank camera because I also used to watch like Three Stooges and stuff like that. And they called my parents to the school because the way that I drew it looked like I was flipping the bird.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Amazing.
and I was like, no, it's a camera. I'm cranking the camera, and they just all started laughing. I'm like, what did you think? Like, and yeah.
On the subject of Three Stooges, though, that was one of the things I copied. Like, I have old VHS footage of me and ordering around my siblings and recreating scenes from the Three Stooges.
Nice.
And that's funny because, especially like you're younger than us, but even like people my age were. I mean, I love the Three Stooges and I Love Lucy and stuff growing up, and it's just like some people are like, "What is that? I never heard of that." It's like, come on, just like open up your.
Super young people have no idea because they don't know what Nick at Night is. I
actually don't know what that is either.
Oh my goodness! So Nickelodeon at nighttime would turn to Nick at Night. Where
I had any Nickelodeon. I was like in the middle of the country growing up. So like SpongeBob, no. Like I just grew up not getting SpongeBob references, not getting any Nickelodeon references.
Oh wow,
that's why. It kind of sucks.
Yeah. But I used to at like nighttime it would turn into like I Love Lucy and like Car 54 Where Are You and like all these other old timey, this cool like sitcom-y kind of stuff from back in the day. Not Three Stooges though. I think my dad is responsible for that. I think everyone's dad is responsible for that, for Three Stooges.
Not mine.
That was like AMC and stuff. I think
didn't have that good as a kid. But anyways, we're totally just getting off the subject.
I was almost went real dark there.
We'll have to change the name of the show to Nyuk Nyuk Nyuk. And I don't know. They had a song, the Curly Shuffle. Anyways, Sergio's finally saying hi, Caleb. So
hey, how are you?
Life is Pain is Life is Pain is saying, will you ever focus on making shorts? You have been. And do you think there is more exposure having uploaded on YouTube? Plus, with people talking about hidden gems on TikTok and stuff like that. I guess that's a big thing right now on TikTok.
Yeah. I just feel like viral content propelling someone's career is very much it's a lottery ticket. Yeah. And we hear about the outliers and the people who find massive success that way. But I don't know. My experience is not that at all. Like Box has done very, very well, and there have been opportunities. But also I've seen the limits of what a little online success can do for you. And the truth is that regardless of your success, just making good stuff that when somebody wants to see what you have, you can show it to them. Honestly, I think like 3 solid pieces of work that have not gone viral that people find very entertaining is worth more than like a viral TikTok video. Like there's so many reasons why something short becomes successful, and it's not just views. Like it's not like people on the executive level who like have to be able to see like the full concept in an idea. Like that's not every successful short. That's not every successful TikTok video. Like I assume we're all thinking about the back rooms right now because that's what I'm thinking of.
That's one of them.
Yeah, and like I think that's probably happening because it's such like a strong fucking world, and you can totally see a full story in that. So
that goes a little more. Yeah, like something like that goes a little more deeper because it has like its own
its own lore.
That and like Reddits and subreddits and groups and so. But yeah, when I did see that, I was like, that's pretty cool.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, well, I'll have to send it. Yeah, I'll have to send it.
Yeah,
I'm out of the loop. I don't.
You need to get on the internet, old man.
I'm on the internet. I just watch YouTube videos. I watch videos about like building a bass guitar, and I'll watch videos about like arrests and like.
Those are good.
Yeah, and I watch stand-up comics. That's all I watch. I don't know.
It's got 50 million views. I think I have a feeling
I'm not one of them yet. I will be, but I'm not one. But yeah, soon enough. Sometimes I just got to be like, it's got to be handed to me on a plate. Like, here you go.
Well, we'll do that. Caleb will curate.
Okay.
Something
Oh man,
for,
I've got so many great horror shorts that I love. I add them to a list.
nice.
But
Yeah,
has
there's
there been any? Sorry, go ahead, Tony.
I was just gonna say, because that's the one thing in the beginning, when I started watching, I watch more shorts now than I ever did before. I don't know why, but the ones I find, because sometimes you watch them and it's just so incomplete, and then sometimes it's like I want more, but then in some you get the perfect. The time is perfect, where it's like everything's said, everything's done, and then you don't need anything else. Which the other side of the box is, but there is even some of those. I'm just like, even though it's perfect and everything's there, I still want to know a little bit more. I think there could be a little bit more in the beginning and then a little bit more at the end, kind of deal. But then there's some. It's just like you just left me hanging, and it wasn't enough.
Yes, but I also think there are some shorts that I would say my favorite shorts, I have my least favorite endings, and that's not because of that. It's just that that's just how it kind of happens. Like, and it's weird. Like, I get what you're saying, and the shorts that have a complete package that like feel satisfying, like, are awesome. But there are some shorts that can only achieve very, very special storytelling by really shooting, basically putting themselves in a place where they can't land the plane. I'm not sure if that makes any sense.
And Sergio's asking if we have a trailer. I told you he would. So Sergio, we don't. There is one out there. It's very short because this is a short film. It's a little over 15 minutes. The link is in all the show notes and everything. I can shoot you a like the link as well, Sergio, afterwards. I'll send you a message with the link. It's a little over 15 minutes and it's awesome. So,
the thing with this one is, we're talking about like encompassing and like wrapping everything up in a nice bow. I feel like what you guys did with this is kind of like what Sean did. It's just dropping off something and not really giving, a before and an after, but like what like the true reality is of the people that were watching, and that's where it lives, and that's and that's it.
I guess the only other thing that you could do is that, and then almost like a Tarantino film where you're just like, all right, now this is what happened 3 months ago.
So you know what's funny is that like that's probably the closest thing I can imagine to a satisfying feature of this. Is like, here are like 4 disparate separated shorts that are loosely connected, that once you completed them all, they do paint a larger picture of what's happening, but they are all self-contained, because like I love the format of shorts. I think they're so fun that like you can get people invested in concepts that wouldn't work in features based off of like characters that like don't need to be likable, don't need to have like a full resolution. They're snacks, and
and that's
then you have like movies like The Cat's Eye, where it's like the same character but different shorts, completely different from each other, but all encompassing the same kind of deal.
I haven't seen that. I'll check that out though.
Yeah, it stars Drew Barrymore. It's like this one cat, and it's just 3 different stories about this thing with different.
Is that like when she was a kid? That's
yeah.
Cool.
And it has that little
guy, little dude. He's like
little
gremlin, little guy,
little fucking guy,
little dude. Yeah, like whatever. I got 9 fingers over here. Has there been any shorts that you've been a big fan of that have gone on to a feature that you've felt like it's done it well?
Oh man, I did not expect that. I thought you were just asking about good shorts. Yeah. No. Let me think. I struggle to think of that. It's usually separate things. It's usually like a feature that I liked where I didn't like the short as much, or a short that doesn't have a feature. Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I think
have you seen
Smile? I liked Smile.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna bring up. Did you see
I like
Laura?
Smile.
Did you see Laura Hasn't Slept, which was the like the
Yes,
catalyst?
but I saw it after, and like
Okay.
that really paints my view. Like I saw Laura Hasn't Slept after I saw Smile, and I like Smile, but then
Yeah.
like I saw you know what's funny? Okay, so what I did see before Smile though was that director's other short, Hide Behind,
Yeah.
which I was like telling everyone about, and no one was like
Dude, that
like
slaps. Yeah.
yeah, that short is dope. So like not the Laura Hasn't Slept short, but yeah, his other work I like a lot. Oh, you know what? I got it. I forget her name, but the film Relic. Prior to Relic, she has a short on Alter, which I already forget the name of. I forget the name of it. But it's like the proof of concept, and it's really fucking creepy and unsettling. I probably like it even more than Relic. Yeah, just check out the original short.
All right.
I will. And I had seen like with Smile and with I like both the short and the feature, but I was a big fan of Sosie Bacon going into things. So I was like, I don't know if I like it because I like her so much,
Hmm.
or if it's, you know, whatever. But I enjoyed the film. I've watched it more than once, and I just heard that they're going to be making a sequel.
Yeah. Smile.
That's tough.
Big Smile.
That's tough.
Yeah, Wicked Smile.
Wicked All right. So, what does everyone think about creepypasta audio stories?
I like them. Is creepypasta any sort of creepy story on the internet, like Reddit's No Sleep?
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, in that vein. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd have to check my notes, but I've just recently read two that I like. One is Baraka, I think it's called, and then crap. I'll have to do some research and get back to you on the second one.
I don't know. I like a lot of the there's some really creepy true crime stuff out there that that I watch on YouTube, but there's podcasts for these people have podcasts as well. And Mr. Ballin has the Mr. Ballin podcast, and it's even better than the YouTube show. He's taken some other people that tell really creepy stories under his wing, and they're doing stuff on his podcast channel as well. And it's not something to listen to before you go to bed. Let me tell you that.
I'm just quickly researching. There's one podcast that I really enjoy, hosted by Rainn Wilson.
Oh,
And is it Radio Rental.
Okay.
Radio Rental, episode 4 has one of the creepier stories. It's unsettling, and the way it's told is very, very creepy. It's got a great payoff. If episode 4, it's either 4 or 2, but Radio Rental I like a lot.
and he's telling the story. I take it.
No. So he sets it up, and he's very campy. He comes in, he's like, "I've got creepy tapes for you." Then he puts one in, and somebody who's supposed to be the character experiencing it is playing somebody telling this real life story. So it's a real story being reenacted by a person.
That's cool.
That's good, because it would have been a little tough for me to be like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, Dwight Schrute is telling me scary stories, and all I can think about is beats.
Yeah.
Beats Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
I think you had a question, Angel, that you wanted to ask.
Well, I wanted to talk about the process, right, of making the shorts for you as specific. So, you know, getting the people together from like concept idea in your head, you know, and then like writing all that kind of stuff. Like, what did that look like for you? As far as like, I know you said you were doing some of the work, so that some of that these connections, like, do you have connections from doing the actual like real work versus like the, you know?
A bit. So that I think it all kind of starts with that feature I ended up directing that I was going to just be the cinematographer for, which like is okay. Not my best work. So I come out of that with a very talented cinematographer, Laura Jansen, and a really talented creative collaborator and actor, Nick Tagg. And when I moved to LA, I hit them both up, and I'm like, hey, I've got this idea. I have this image in my head of like somebody peeking over a box, because my brain was like, okay, let's do something cheap and inside of a house.
Yes.
And I had this idea of being watched. It's very like reminiscent of that fear as a kid whenever you're like home alone and you're afraid there's like somebody out the window like looking in at you. That like shook me. And and I was very much like into cosmic horror at the time, reading a lot of Lovecraft, reading a lot of just other authors like Laird Barron and Jason Pargin. and also Philip K. Dick for sci-fi. And I just had like all these
Good
like ideas in my head, and I just kind of like cobbled them all together. Like most of the stuff I write is like way too packed, it's way too full, and I think you can kind of feel it a little in this short. But anyway, yeah, I contact both of them. We raised a tiny bit of money. I think we shot it for like a little over $3,000. Like it was made with favors, like location's free. Most of the labor is either minimum wage or below minimum wage. Like really hobbled together, shot in 2 days, shooting like 45 setups a day, which is not healthy. Do not do that. I had like
12, 14 hours, 16-hour days.
No, I very much like, I think I did like 12 and a half, which is like still kind of under if you include lunch. Like I didn't take advantage of people, but like it was not fun. We were like, it was like 5-10 minutes of setup. It's like shoot this. It's the fact that like it has any success makes me so thankful, because I thought I bit off more than I could chew, to be honest.
Someone's saying hi to Angel. I don't know who that is.
Machi. What up, Gan? It's from my group, Block of Horror.
Oh, nice.
You guys should check out. I dropped the link that we were talking to Caleb tonight.
Ah, cool.
But when
I have
I
a question just real quick. It's going to be a very quick one, I promise. So with the blackness of Inside the Box, did you do anything digitally, or did you use that like super like the blackest paint? It's like a paint that is completely black.
It's basic just black spray paint and then enhanced in post. Okay. Which like I color all my stuff, so I basically just isolate like the luma channel and drop the shadows. Done. But I knew I wanted it practical, because I just like, you have to believe this thing that looks impossible sitting on the table. Right. You have to believe it's really there. So,
I was just wondering, because I want to just talk to someone who's actually used that paint.
I do want to. I have other like abyss hole ideas that I would probably use that for.
I can't. Yeah, I don't even. I think it's wicked expensive, but I want to use it. I want to paint my room with that.
Where are you?
I'd see how long it takes me to just go mental. Probably not very long.
So you said Nick, which plays Ben. It seems like it's a small group of people, and I mean you're kicking ass on Alter and the channel, and you're almost at 12 million views. So
tight. I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, that's.
Can you make anything back from that?
No. So Short of the Week gives you a cut, Alter doesn't. So I did both channels, and the thinking is. Oh wait, do you guys mind if I say the names of, because okay.
That's completely
the appeal is they have a built-in audience, that even like the worst shorts on there get like around 30, 45,000. So you're like, okay, like the algorithm loves them. They're uploading twice a week. So that's as much as I'm going to say about it, because I want them to host my next short.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, go ahead, Donnie.
No, I was just going to say, because when I first started watching it, just the thought of it, I'm like, oh, this is kind of fun. I started giggling a little bit.
Yeah.
And then as it just kept going, I'm like, my laughter turned into, I was like, this is creepy. Like, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Actually, I want to, so I thought it was going to be sillier, to be honest. Like, I didn't know it was going to be as scary. Like, it was it just kind of happened. Like, I really wanted something that was strange, that broke your brain, and made you feel like you reality was breaking. But like once it played in a theater, people screamed, and I was like, oh, now I get what this is.
Yeah, it's you don't know what's happening. It's just like, all right, I have to stare at it. What happens if I close my eyes? Like, what if I have to blink?
Yeah.
But Apache again is saying that they're not even like subscribed to Altered, but the stuff still pops up in their feed every day.
Yeah.
I have plenty of stuff that pops up in my feed that I'm not subscribed to. The reason it does is because I keep watching stuff.
Yes. Yeah. So like, here, have some more.
Yeah, exactly. And eventually, then I will subscribe, and then when I do, I'll never see it again.
I do like, without giving too much away, I do like when we get the the little flip Ben, where he thinks he's kind of like problem solving, and then to the actual like opening Pandora's box type of deal, with revealing all the what's on the other side of the box. You know what I mean? So congrats on that, because I watched this in my car, my driveway a little bit ago, and I was creeped out.
That's exactly what I would have done if I was that dude when he was driving, trying to find the guy who left the box. I would have just had it like on the dashboard, just staring at me while I was driving.
No, well, I mean, he was warned.
He was
warned.
Then,
But
yeah.
I do like the whole aspect of like you said, the cosmic. To go back to the cosmic horror and like, some kind of. I when I was watching it, I was like, oh, so he's just up against the wets. You know what I mean?
The wets, amazing.
Because like, I was like, that is fucking like creepy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so yeah, great job on that. And then, like I said, under 15 minutes, and like we said, like, could there be a feature of this? But then you're more of a explaining, right? More explaining what we watched in the short, which I feel like sometimes
maybe
we
the
don't know
unanswered questions. Maybe the unanswered questions is
but that's what I'm saying. Like with something like this, I feel like this, like it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like could you do an expansion on this? Sure. You know what I mean? But like
I think there's sorry to cut you off, but go ahead. I think there's a really specific kind of fear that comes with just being so in the dark and having so few answers. And like, I know that when I watch a short, that when it ends is a little too ambiguous, but it was scary along the way. Like, I don't love the ending. Like, this goes back to me saying my favorite shorts, like, have my least favorite endings. Yeah. Like, there are moments in these shorts where I'm like, fuck, this is terrifying.
Yeah.
And then it kind of like fizzles at the end. I'm like, doesn't matter. Like, it's still like love 80% of that.
Yeah.
Like there's like extremely scary points in horrible movies.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like let's. I haven't watched it, but just like the they got the supposed prequel. I don't know if it's exactly a prequel. I could be misspeaking. Pet Cemetery. Like, do we need to know how the ground got sour? Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, that's just me. You know what I mean? But like, but then I've heard from people that have watched it that it's like, well, if it didn't have the Pet Cemetery moniker on it, like, I wouldn't like graded it so like heavy to it, and like it could have lived on its own. So it's like, well, why not tell that story then? Or, instead of, but then you got to think of like,
cash grab. It's like,
the familiar titles.
Cemetery.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
that's Hollywood.
It's like, because we don't always need to know like how we got here. Like, let me just eat the little piece of cake and enjoy that.
Let me just have an idea in my mind. Don't explain it to me, then tell me I was wrong. Sergio, he asks this sometime. He used to ask it all the time. He hasn't asked it in a while. So you're a film fan in general, but as far as horror goes, do you have a favorite horror movie? And is there one that you can think of that scared you the most?
I think anyone that like watches too much horror will know that like after a while you just stop getting scared. And but I would say
I'm really worried at where you were going with that, because that's something I watch.
Especially when you make it too. Like, I think it's the same thing as like watching a lot. You just like, but the one that comes to my mind immediately whenever I'm like, oh, this is a solid horror film, is the 2013 Evil Dead remake by Fede Alvarez.
That's
like,
yes.
Like when that fucking shit hits so hard, and like it just like it escalates so much. Like, people get just wrecked in the movie, and the suspense is so high, and it's got like one of my favorite finales of all time. So that, Don't Breathe, I love Cabin in the Woods. Like, I'm basically avoiding like all like the obvious classics from like the 70s and 80s. Like, but just recently, like I loved Talk to Me. I like Barbarian a lot.
Barbarian was awesome.
Yeah. Like, talk about a movie full of weird shorts that like connect in strange ways.
That was the thing. Like, one moment in that movie, like dead center of it, it turns into a whole different vibe, feel, like.
And
color.
I was in a packed audience that night, and like at Universal City Walk, and everyone, the second that cut happened to the PCH and Justin Long, like the entire audience like erupted in laughter because like what preceded it was so horrifying, and like that hit just like it. Yeah, it's a fun experience.
You know, and they killed the red herring, like fucking smash it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, it wasn't him.
That feeling.
Go
ahead. Oh, that feeling of you don't know where a movie's going is so unique and rare that when it hits, I savor it so much. And I feel like all the movies I just mentioned, Cabin in the Woods, Barbarian, Talk to Me, and Evil Dead, like all kind of have, Don't Breathe as well, all have that feeling where you're like, I just don't know where this is going.
Yeah, a lot of Hollywood, it's like, I know exactly where this is going, and it's like 80% of the time I'm right. Then they'll throw a curveball here, and I'm like, okay, they got me. But
I'm going to turn on the light real fast. Sorry.
Yeah, another one another one that surprised me was Cobweb. I don't know if you guys watched Cobweb.
Yeah, dude, Cobweb was a lot of fun.
That was another one that I would, because that one kind of went like under the radar with a whole bunch of like bigger films that came out around the same time. So that one kind of got like pushed to the side with like Evil Dead Rise and stuff like that. And I'm like, that one was actually pretty good.
Yeah, my friend Mike recommended that one to me, and I really liked it a lot. Cobweb, I really liked it a lot, and it had almost like a Barbarian feel to me. Like it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Anthony Starr and what's her name? I can't remember. Kaplan, Lizzie Kaplan, as parents are some of the creepiest performances I have seen in a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard some complaints about it, but whatever.
Can't make everybody happy, bro.
Right? Everyone's gonna, exactly. Like if they have a legit reason for not liking something, that's perfect. That's good on you. It's really good. You shouldn't like it.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like when people say like movie sucked, and I'm like, okay,
cool.
Why though? You know what I mean? Like, give me a reason. Even if I agree with you, like, what's the reason you didn't like it? You know what I mean?
Now, talking about the acting in the short, I think everybody hit their mark like perfectly, especially the box.
The box guy.
Yeah.
Boxman.
But
the original wet bandit. Yeah,
the wets.
but
like you said, everybody felt believable in the beginning, like the whole playful couple thing. You know what I mean? Because like sometimes. Especially with having to like tell the story in such a like compact like little time, you know what I mean? Like, so there's not really some shorts don't have a lot of room to like develop character and like all this, you know what I mean? So like, but it was when they're in their own little world, right? And then the knock on the door, and then you can see both characters, like the other dynamic that is underneath the other layer that we just got shown, you know what I mean? With like, there's a history, and we don't get that, but we know that there's like
a history,
a little bit of
probably not good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like, why don't they? What's wrong with Sean?
Yeah. I don't want to talk to him. Right. Life is Pain is saying everyone's a critic these days. I'd like to see them do better, and that's something that we've always kind of stood by. Like, at least I've always stood by that. Like, there's in a movie that I can say I don't like, I can find something in it that I'd be like, they did that really well. Like, even if I hate the movie, and at the end of the day, I've never made a movie, so I can't sit there and say what you did is garbage because you've done something I've never done, and that's make a movie.
I really like engaging with people on why they don't like things, because I often find that the reason why someone might hate something is the exact reason why I love it. Like the worst, like I really don't mind when people like hate something I love. Like what I really don't like is when they just don't even engage. Yeah. Like if something's like, and like that's sometimes the movie's fault. Like sometimes the movie isn't like interesting enough to, you just kind of shrug and walk out of the theater. But I don't know, like listening to why people don't like something is often really educational and very like, very fun.
But people have the opportunity and they just don't do it. Like, I'm not going to name names, but there was a premiere of a movie that was done at a convention, and I was the guy that was outside with a microphone talking to people on the way out, and there were some people that didn't like the movie. And I'm like, well, what didn't you like? And they're like, I just didn't like it. I'm like, well, the director's right here. You can talk to him about, like, literally the director was right there. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
They just
my
didn't,
favorite
they
is
didn't
like,
want to like it. They went into it not wanting to like it.
yeah.
Yeah, the movie's not great. I can be honest with you. The movie's not great. It could have been much better.
Yeah.
It was on the way to be much better. Then some producers stepped in and changed some things up, and whatever.
Now that happens sometimes when like people are adamant about like, yo, it sucked, or like I didn't like that, and then like a few months pass and then they try to sell it as like their favorite movie, or like I've always liked it, and I'm always like,
I
remember when you fucking shit on me.
No, that wasn't me.
Now you like it? I told
I'm
you.
the first person to be like, I was wrong. Man, I was wrong. I wish I saw that earlier. Like plenty of things.
No,
like,
because that's the thing. Like the internet, right? The internet's is undefeated. You know what I mean? So like, if something catches like a little bit of a word of mouth, I guess, or like, you know what I mean? So like, people already have like a doctored like idea of like something, and so they'll go in with a sour taste, so they'll never even watch it because like, the majority of the internet said, but then it's like such a small minority that like, I always take people's like criticism and I make my own like assertions of,
This is interesting from Life is Pain. He went into see Nun 2 thinking it was going to be bad, but it was really good. I wouldn't say it was terrifying, but 7 out of 10. I mean, I haven't seen Nun 2. I remember going to see the first one and I was expecting it to be awesome, and I was really let down.
Bummer.
I haven't watched any of those. I only watched I never watched the side stories. I stayed with just the.
Well, was it The Conjuring 2? It was my favorite like reveal when the shadow was going around the room and then like the hands came out. I'm like, that was amazing. So I was super excited for The Nun because of that. And I was like, it's not as cool. I would rather just watch that reveal over and over again.
That could have just been a short, right?
Oh, totally.
Instead of 2 movies.
Yeah. That's money. But yeah, no, that's good that you liked it. I haven't seen it yet, though. I'll check it out, though. I will, because I've seen all the other Conjuring movies.
Yeah.
Now with doing the I guess each like a feature length and a short kind of has its either have its the things that make it different. But would you, with short films, since you did it on such a quick timetable, does that make it harder than if you had like a week to do it? Or because it's a little bit shorter, it's only like 15 minutes, does it make it a little bit easier?
I was just talking to another filmmaker, and no, I would say making a short takes almost as much prep at times as making a feature. Like, it's not as much, but I'd say at times it feels like 60 to 70% as much prep, because like you have to nail down almost as many details. It's not as many days, obviously, not as much runtime, but it's still like an intense run. You don't have enough money. You have to get an entire crew together. And there's a lot of disadvantages too. You just don't know like if certain crew members are going to work. You only have 2 days to make it happen. So it honestly, like, it's the reason why I think I don't do more shorts, and why a lot of people don't do more shorts is they just, unless you can like pick up a camera and pump it out in like 2 to 3 weeks, like Vox took me from beginning of writing to finishing probably 6 months. Like that's, it's just like spent a lot of time in post, spent a lot of time prepping pre-production, editing, like, writing took like at least 2.5 months. I think that like I don't really see a point in doing it anymore. Like I've done a new short, and like after doing that, I was like, that took almost as much time as a feature.
Yeah, you were talking about that before we went live, that you have a new short that's going to be coming out at was it next year?
Yeah. So it's premiering at Screamfest October. So next Tuesday, 1 week from today, at Screamfest. Play Me is what it's called, and it's just gonna do one night there, and then it's gonna premiere like early 2024 in like the same places that the box went, and it's a bit different. Yeah, it's about a woman who wakes up in a car without any memory of how she got there, and a man tied up in the back seat. And then she finds a tape recorder with her own voice on it that tells her what to do next. So she has to choose whether or not to believe her own words on this tape recorder, or what this man in the back seat is saying to her. And it's it's like a little fun thriller snack. It's like 10 minutes, so it's a little bit shorter.
Oh, that sounds pretty interesting for sure.
I like that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fun.
And is that going to be available eventually on YouTube the same way this one is?
Yeah. Early next year, I'll probably send out a blast to like all the people like who like the box. Be like, hey, here's the new thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sick.
Now, is it the same? Well, I didn't look into it, but is it easier, especially like with short films? Is it easier to like recast the same people, or is it like easier to find some new talent?
Definitely easier to work with the same people. So the guy who's Sean in the box is the man who's tied up in the back seat with a bag on his head in Play Me. And like I'm like, oh, this is a pretty thankless role. This character has a sack on his head the entire time. We never see his face. But I know this dude is like a really talented actor, does great voice acting, can project through this bag. Like, do you want to show up for minimum wage and do this part? And he said yes, and we had a great time working together. But to answer your question, yeah, when you know what someone can bring, because at the end of the day, you're asking so much from people to do shorts. Like, it almost will yield no money ever. There's a chance it won't help their career, and it's a lot of work. So knowing that somebody can can handle like how tough it can be is like really vital.
Yeah, if I lived in that area, I would be completely broke and tired, because I would just be like, I'll do it for free, whatever. I got nothing else.
I've done a lot of those. I've done a lot of those too.
Yeah,
well, I don't want your money. I'll pay you to do it.
That's what we've heard before, where it's like, especially some people just want to have their face on camera nowadays, and it's like, even if your
face is in a bag, I'm fine with that too. Like, I don't care. I just want to, this guy's face was in a bag. So,
baghead.
There's some people that are known for like wearing masks, like Damien Maffei in
Strangers Pray at Night.
Strangers Pray at Night. It's like, oh, you know the name. Yeah, you know that you didn't know his face, but when it's like, oh, okay, I know you. So sometimes not having your face shown sometimes actually helps more. I mean, with David Howard Thornton too, and Terrifier. I mean, people don't know his face, and it's like,
did you see that recent post that he put up? Like, he was taking a flight somewhere, and like the flight crew or whatever gave him a card as he was boarding, like talking about how much they love his movies.
That's awesome.
And he's like, I wear clown makeup all the time. Most people don't know what I look like. He's like, this is pretty insane. That's huge.
Yeah.
He's a dude that was a waiter. He was a waiter like a year and a half ago, you know?
That's his story when we interviewed him, like when Terrifier first hit Netflix, and where they are now and where they're headed to. Like, it's cool to see, like, on the independent level,
But that's a situation where they just happen to be in the right place at the right time, where people were
putting in that work,
Oh yeah. But the movie happened to have like a cool looking poster, and it happened to get on Netflix at a certain time when people were really scrounging for new stuff, and it took off. Yeah. I'm happy for them a lot, but it's that we want to see stuff like that happen with more people, and we've said it a lot too. Like, a lot of the originality and a lot of the heart that comes through. That we can see in a movie is been with the independent stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the Hollywood stuff is the same stuff over and over again. I mean, don't get me wrong.
There's a lot of good stuff, but
there's a lot of good stuff. Like A24 stuff is pretty sick.
But that's also like an independent, like a little bit higher than most independents. But it's Lionsgate's like smaller sister company, so technically
it's not 200 million.
So it's technically an independent, but that's the one thing is when I do my lives on TikTok, people are always clamoring. They're like, I see the same stuff. It's like, okay, go look elsewhere. There is other stuff out there.
Go watch Hagazusa. Tony.
Yeah, like there is really, I try to really push the idea that we vote with our dollars. So like if you really want to stop seeing certain things in movies, stop renting it, stop going to a theater, and go to the movies that you want to see. Like anyone who loves horror movies and is not on the horror subreddit, like do yourself a favor, get there. You'll find so many great hidden gems, and then you can like give money to those people. It's great.
I avoid Reddit because it was so negative for so long.
Are you on the wrong channels,
Dude?
bro?
I love the horror subreddit. Like all internet forums have a little bit of negativity, but like there's a lot of. It's a great community.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, I go through like Instagram and stuff. Like being a movie collector and stuff, it's always the cover, like the poster art that always gets me. So just going through like indie horror on Instagram, and it's just like, there I see it, or YouTube, which I saw the cover and I'm like, oh, okay, that looks interesting. And then I'm like, that's a short, let me check it out. And then I loved it. I'm like, I definitely got to reach out, because with me, it has to be like I said, not a perfect short film, but one that, encapsulates me. And this one definitely did. It was just like I said in the beginning, I'm like, oh, this looks like it might be a little fun. And then I'm like, nope, never mind. But like 6 minutes into, I'm like, I'm creeped out right now.
I'm going to take every box in this house and I'm going to burn it. I'm not going to risk it.
My favorite comments on the video is just all the people talking about like I would try to close the box, I would sit on it, I would try to turn it upside down. Like that's just my like once people start talking that way, I know they're engaging with it.
Yeah,
and that's
just pick it up and throw it in the fire pit and see what happens. But they're wets, so they'll just put the fire out.
You can't. That's it, man. You can't.
I really do love wets.
Yeah,
it's great.
You can use it, man. You can use it.
Just real quick, before we wrap up, because we do have to wrap up, but Brandon Brooks is saying that The Collector is a great underrated horror film.
I haven't seen that.
Both
and
I've heard good things.
Collector and Collection, and then they were supposed to at some point make a third one, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Collected.
Yeah, The Collectorator. Anyways, so where can people go to find out what's up next with you, or find out what you're working on? Like, do you have any social media that you're more active on?
Yeah. I would say the only thing right now is just Instagram. Caleb.j.phillips is my main Instagram. That's where I post any new film news, stuff like that. I'm really feeling that early next year I'm going to release the short, but I also might talk a little bit about a feature project me and my team have been working on. So I would say stay tuned to Instagram come early 2024.
Yeah, come back and talk to us about that.
Yeah, man, we'll do.
Angel, what about yourself?
Just hit up That Strange Show. We got a new episode coming out soon, I think. Still got to edit a little bit. But you could just hit that up. I think we're going to be at Monster Expo this weekend if everything works out properly, because I gotta catch an Uber. But
is that Uber named Kevin? Because Uber from your house is like 2 hours away.
Yeah. We'll be there. A lot of our friends are going to be there, and definitely check out Other Side of the Box for sure, man. Shit is dope, and that's it.
Appreciate it.
That's it. It's dope. That's the thing. Like when we talk about shorts, right? Because we've had episodes where we've covered multiple shorts, and then we're like, this, it was fucking awesome. But like it's 6 minutes.
We can't say
long, so like we can't say anything. You know what I mean? And like it's kind of like the same aspect, because I feel like a lot of the switches and everything, and like the marks that you hit with it, like.
But the thing is, even if you said some stuff, which we said some stuff, the visual of it, the video, like the visual of it is you need to check it out. The visual is where it's at.
So. Question. So you said you were a cinematographer, DP. What kind of gear are you rocking?
Not anymore. Yeah, it used to be all Black Magic, but once I started like getting out of because it's so, I mean, like Black Magic's what they're doing for the low budget film world is so great. But no, I would say like a few years ago I was like, and I'm just not going out to DP anything else anymore. So I sold all my stuff and yeah, put that money into another short. That's basically what I did.
I got Black Magic right
Nice.
here. The OG.
Nice. Is that a pocket? Oh, whoa.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
that's the
OG.
OG pocket.
Yeah, OG pocket.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stuff
I remember
runs on
that.
gas. That doesn't even run on batteries. It's that old.
No, I got.
Runs on steam. Those are very good movies, very loud movies. Tony, what about yourself? Where can people go to find you?
You can find me at Tony Has Nine Fingers on YouTube, where I do movie reviews, unboxings, anything like that. And I got to get back up on that. But Tony Has Nine Fingers on X, Twitter, whatever. I hardly ever use it. Tony Has Nine Fingers on TikTok, which is where I'm on the most. That's where I grow the most, even though I do not twerk or anything wolfy or. I see Angel dancing down there. I do not twerk. I do everything movie related. A bunch of guys come on here, which I appreciate. But that's my fastest growing thing. I try to promote whatever I can on there. So check me out there. Tony's Movies on Instagram, where I show off the movies behind me. And of course, here most Tuesdays, whether we have an awesome guest or it's just horror movie talk, horror related talk. Check us out Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I say it all the time. Come and join us live, because not only can you answer questions, but if we have a trailer or anything, it's better to visualize it than kind of listen and be like,
okay. Listening to a trailer is just like, wow. Like that's the whole. We've had somewhere it's just like loud noises, and it's like that was an awesome trailer.
People
you didn't see it, dummy. Yeah. For myself, A Knuckle on Instagram. Besides doing this show with Tony and sometimes Angel, I also do That Strange Show. I'm part of That Strange Show now, and no longer part of Black and White Fright because that was ended. That ended.
No more movies.
I found out like 2 days before the last episode was recording, and we went out with a thud. Let me tell you, we went out on a bad one. It was not a good movie. Ooh.
No.
But I was like, oh, this is a bad choice. But we had the premiere of the Re-Education of Nancy Ann Ritter a couple Sundays ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago.
The next episode is going to be coming out this weekend. And we said in the first episode that the next episode was going to be Evil Dead 2, but we didn't record Evil Dead 2 until after we recorded.
It's a choose your own adventure. It's a choose your own adventure.
So I'm thinking Texas Chainsaw Massacre is going to go up first because she mentions Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the Evil Dead 2 episode. So we have to do them in order. So I apologize. But thanks to the people that checked that out. Nancy Ann Ritter, she's from the original Scream movie. She doesn't know anything about horror at all. And so me and my friend Jeremy are trying to school her on some iconic horror movies.
Yeah, you started off with The Shining.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
She had never seen it. She had never seen The Shining.
Is it a 2-hour long podcast?
I try not to make a 2-hour long podcast. That was the first episode, so that was a long one.
That was it's the pilot.
Yeah, that was a long one. But anyways, so that's about that. Thanks everyone for listening and watching.
Yes, go watch The Other Side of the Box.
Yes, on YouTube. Just do a search for that, and you'll there's reaction videos and everything. Lots of views. So go check it out. And goodbye.